Way in the back? Yeah. My favorite character to draw? Gosh, it's like your children. That's like it's like you can't have a favorite, and um, there's certain characters that I'm not crazy about drawing, like Spider-Man. I think I shut someone down yesterday. I felt really bad for them. Like, can you draw Gwen Stacy? I'm like, no, I'm not drawing anyone in the Spider-Man family because I hate drawing Spider-Man, and because I know that if you get me to draw Gwen Stacy, the next guy goes, well, come on, just draw Gwen Stacy's, love interest. Spider-Man's a real tough one because all that webbing and stuff, I just really never took to it. I like a lot of the cartoonier type characters to draw, like Jubilee, Robin, but only if I had to draw a book of just that, it would drive me crazy. So it's always the contrast between a character like Wolverine and Jubilee, Batman and Robin, because you can do different kinds of poses and they have to have different body gestures to create different personalities. And the fun is sort of juxtaposing, sort of contrasting the two in the same panel. And it's more challenging. It's like when you're singing, you want to hit your high notes and your low notes, and it's kind of fun going up and down. You don't want just like the same note. That would be techno. Anyway, so yes, sir. Yeah. I didn't quite hear that. People that influence me, Mike Mignola, who's here at the show. He actually put me up on his couch for 5 days. When I moved from St. Louis, my editor was Carl Potts, who knew Mike Mignola, who was living in Oakland, and I always wanted to live in Berkeley. And so he called him up and said, "Hey, put this new guy on your, can you put him up?" And he didn't even know who I was, so I slept on his couch for several days until I found my own place. He was happy to see me leave, but he was a nice guy. But he was a big influence, and then he lived in the same building with Art Adams, and he was another guy that I really admired. And it kind of blows my mind to this day that I actually know these people and will go to dinner with them, and But back in the day when I was a kid trying to break in, or I was 21 trying to break into comics, they seem like, like these like bright shiny figures, and they still do. Bill Sienkiewicz is here. I talked to him yesterday, and I'm trying to play all cool and everything. But when I was a kid, I was like, oh my God, it's Bill Sienkiewicz. So it's Bill Sienkiewicz, Art Adams, Mike Mignola, Kevin Nolan, John Byrne, Barry Windsor Smith. Those are the guys that I really liked. But more recently, like Travis Charest, Ivan Rice is doing tremendous stuff. Brian Hitch, big fan of Brian Hitch. Joe Madureira, all those guys. Jeff Scott Campbell. Yes, right there. Yes.
Yeah, so what you kind of did on the introduction of iPad.
Right.
Take on the popularity or the digital comics movement, especially these really incredible touchscreen pads.
Yeah. I think it's a very exciting opportunity. I don't even think it's an opportunity. I think there's no way to there's no way to stop the growth of digital comics. All right, people already are BitTorrenting these comics. I don't recommend it because it will blow up your computer and fill it with bad viruses. But you can download all these comics the day they come out, and so even if we decided, digital comics, it's like rap. When rap came out, I was like, this is never going to last. So, if you look at it that way and think it's going to go away, it's not. So the question is, what are the opportunities here? What can we do with this that we haven't been able to do? And I think you can reach a new audience, whether it's young adults or kids. I know a lot of parents use their iPhone as a babysitter. They hand it to their kid and play. And so to the extent that you can now find casual consumers that understand what a comic book is and has characters that they recognize from movies or TV shows, you can reach a broader section of people. So we do like the Fringe comic book. We do all these video game-based comics. So, I go and download apps associated with games that I really like. And so if you're into this game, you're searching on the App Store for this stuff, you're going to find this stuff. You're going to download it and hopefully be introduced to the comics. And especially the digital comic, the trick is we have to have the digital stuff support the brick and mortar print comics. Otherwise, we'll eventually kind of kill the golden egg. And so you have to figure out ways to get people into comics through this casual sort of channel, then turn them and convert them to the dark side and have them come back to comics and come to the stores because that's where all the cool stuff is. And I have, you know, I'll just share the story very quickly. When the last Comic-Con, this is a true story, I do these signings at the DC booth, and there's like tons of people, and it's like a real circus kind of atmosphere, and there's just a lot of energy. And I go to this signing, and there's this old Asian lady waiting in line holding this backing board, you know, like, and I go like, "Mom, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do an impression because it'd be very racist." But she's like, "I need a sketch. I want a sketch from you." I'm like, "What are you? There are all these people behind you. I could do a sketch for you at home, and I could do a much better sketch for you at home." And then she said, "Well, it wouldn't be the same." And she was right. It wouldn't be the same. And it's the context of what you're consuming and where you're consuming is very important. So you can download all the comics you want, but if you're into comics, I think you need a store. You need a place where all the cool stuff is located, because a store is like kind of a mini convention. I mean, this is a convention, but if you go to a store and you're in the middle of nowhere, when you walk in, it's like the toy store. It's like all this great stuff, and buying it and experiencing there is something that the store owner creates, that circus type environment. And all the best stores are invariably always run by passionate owners that make their stores stand out and make them better than their competing stores. And as long as they do that, that will remain safe. So we have this opportunity of people sampling the kinds of work we do, sampling comics that we can't sell in traditional brick and mortar kind of places, and then hopefully converting them from fan to super fan, have them come to these stores and conventions, and then San Diego Comic-Con. On the iPad, I just Tweeterific. On my iPhone, I have there's a called Shake It, and it takes photographs and makes it look like there's an old Polaroid. So I like all the stuff that converts present day technology to analog, old school technology. You know, on the iPad, I've been using Sketchbook Pro, and they contacted me, and then so they gave me a bunch of free codes. So check out my Twitter feed. At some point, I'm going to be giving away redemption codes so you can download a free copy yourself. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Folks, we have time for a couple more questions, just so folks understand what we're doing. Mr. Lee will be going back downstairs. He'll be able to do some more signings and so forth.
I'll do a few sketches. I feel a lot better actually.
And we're also going to be, our next presentation is going to be with Eric Powell. So if anybody would like to stay, you can just stay here and stay in your seat, or run out or go back, or we're going to have tickets in the back if you're going to be leaving and come back. We're going to clear out the room, and then he's going to come back, and we're going to start that at 12 o'clock. So if you do want to see Eric Powell, make sure you get a ticket if you're leaving, or you can just stay. Let's get another couple questions from Mr. Lee, and we'll wrap this up, please.